Hello, good
Hi.
morning. It is morning.
It is.
We don't know, whatever time it is. Thank you for joining us. That's what we want to say is thank you for joining us again on
As
our
I like
perfect
to
pairings
say,
week.
happy Friday Eve. It is
Happy Friday
Thursday
Eve.
and
It is
day
Thursday.
4 of our perfect pairing couples week because Monday was National Couples Day, and we thought we need more than one day. We're going to drag it out through the week because there's never like a reason to not spread the love. And we curated beautifully paired products, CutterPillar
Yes.
products that work really well together and just make sense. And
And
some of them,
it feels like Bethany and I are starting to be a couple. So
oh, we are, Melody. Virtually love you from afar.
yes. So
And we love all of you for tuning in with us every day and
yes.
having fun with us. I hope you enjoy this fun background that I picked. I
It's
really
it's
lean into the theme, okay?
it's lovey and bright and cheery and summery because like I know we all like talk about love in February, but we should talk about love more often. We need more love. We all need more love in the world, and that's what we're here to do this week. I'm Melody. I am in the CutterPillar headquarters in Salt Lake City, Utah,
Yeah.
and Bethany is there in Nashville joining us for our it's kind of a double like couples week, perfect pairing week, couple goals. We're calling it lots of things, but we're just sharing the love. Whether you are celebrating a love for a best friend or your sewing club friends or your favorite coworkers or your husbands or wives or fiancés or kids or whatever. Just
Yeah.
pair it up because it's this thing, right? When you're in a
Yeah.
pair, it's so fun. So
Yeah,
much fun,
everything's
more fun
better
than by yourself.
together, right?
Everything's better together. Yes.
Everything's better together. And our products work very well together. They're a cohesive unit of products. And so through this week, we thought it might be fun to kind of make you think outside the box of products that work well together that you may not have considered before. And so today we're going to share two that are, well, they're classics. And that leads us
They
into
are.
our bundle. And
That
I'm going
leads
to
us right
share.
into the yes, they are classic.
I'm here with the puns,
Good
okay? I'm
job.
here with
That
the
was
puns.
great. That was perfect. That was a perfect segment.
So our bundle deal today, our perfect pairing, our couple made in heaven, is our Glow Classic with our Flex Sewing Machine Lite. And we're really excited about these two. Now, remember, all of these perfect pairings can be found on our website under the Shop Now category. And you just click on perfect pairing and you'll see all 5 of our perfectly curated bundles for you this week. And they're already discounted, but if you use the code couple goals, you'll get an extra 20% off. And they ship for free because they're over $98. So all
Yeah.
orders over $98 ship for free. So it's just like the love that just keeps on giving.
Yes.
And that's what we're here for this week. So Melody's going to kick us off with talking about the Glow Classic, which I'm super excited about. So let's highlight what makes it a classic.
So this is the thing. So this is our upgraded version of our Glow Basic. If you've been following us for a while and you know about our Glow Basic, this is our upgraded version of that light board. The Glow Basic was the first light board that we ever came out with. That came with the first light board that ever came with a translucent self-healing cutting mat was our Glow Basic, and that was our first one we came out with. It's been a great little light board that you can do all these things that I'm going to show you in a second with it, but we decided to upgrade it a little bit. We learned over the years. We started making them in 2017, so they've been around for a long time. And there were just a couple of little tweaks that we wanted to do, and so we did that, and now it's our Glow Classic. We don't call it the Basic anymore because it's upgraded. It's not just the basic model. There's upgrades to it. So this is our Glow Classic. If you caught our live yesterday, where we talked about our perfect pairing yesterday with the Glow Premium and the glass mat, I will tell you that the difference between the Glow Classic and the Glow Premium 2, which is the one we showed yesterday, the only difference between those two, there is only one difference really between the two. And the Glow Premium 2 that we showed you yesterday has an internal rechargeable battery, where the Glow Classic just needs to always be plugged in. That's the difference between the two. The Glow Premium 2 does say premium on it, where the Glow Classic doesn't. That's the other little, they're a little bit of a different color, but really the only difference between the two is that rechargeable battery. So if you guys want a portable one, the Glow Premium 2 is great. If you don't need a portable one, you don't need that battery, the Glow Classic is a really great way to go. Most of you, not me because I don't have a dedicated sewing space right now, but most of you have power in your sewing rooms. Most of you have several outlets and power strips and plugs and everything everywhere. So the Glow Classic may be a really good fit because you don't have to have it run off of a battery. But let me flip my camera here and go overhead and let me show you about the Glow Classic. So first of all, it is LED light board. It's made out of acrylic, not glass, so it's super durable. This is my little, what do you call that, ASMR? And so it's super durable. It doesn't break easily. It has multiple light settings, so you can adjust this light high, medium, and low. You can change that depending on what you're working on or the time of day, because if you're crafting late into the night, you don't need it all the way bright because you don't have any natural sunlight coming in your room. You can dim it down. I tell you, if you take these into a different room of the house that people don't expect you to be in, you can hide from your family a little bit if you want to. Keep the lights low and still work on your stuff. They'll find you eventually, but it takes them a while. So I like to do that at my house sometimes too, is hide in the basement.
Can we also call out that they start at the highest setting now and then go down to the lowest setting, which is the opposite of how the basic was. That's one of the upgraded features to the classic and our premium too, is that you start at the highest setting and then go down to the lowest setting to off. And it seems like a silly little thing, but it makes it easier to find that perfect setting. So
it does.
Turning it off and when you get to the brightest setting, not realizing that was it.
It does. You're right. Thank you, Bethany. That is true. It does. They do that now. So what do you use it for? The light board itself, you can use to do your pattern tracing, whether it's applique patterns, embroidery patterns, paper piecing patterns, anything like that. You can trace any of it right on top of here. Because that light will shine through and you can do all of your tracing. You can also do vinyl weeding if you do any of those kinds of projects. You can do diamond art. You can do coloring, paint by number. I keep one of my premium light boards by my bedside and I like to color at night to shut down my brain. And so I'll pull that out and use it for that. I do my stamping when I'm doing paper crafting on here. I do all that stuff right on top of here. It's really durable in order to do that. The different light settings I told you about. The plug that comes with the Glow Classic and the Glow Premium 2 is at a 90-degree angle. So because of that, it doesn't stick out quite as far as some of our other ones did. So you're able to keep that nice and tight, and it's a little safer. It keeps it from getting bumped all of the time. The Glow Classic, and I think I forgot to mention this yesterday about the Glow Premium, is these are built a little bit different. So they are encased in plastic. So they have plastic all the way around the corners. It's built more like an iPad. So you have that nice and secure, so it keeps it nice and sturdy. All of our light boards come with the self-healing cutting mats, translucent self-healing cutting mats. They are all textured on the back side so that it keeps it from slipping around when you're using it to cut fabric on or paper. But the Glow Classic and the Glow Premium also have texture on the top. So that will hold your fabric in place a little bit easier. It's a little extra bit of secure when you're doing your cutting. So when you are doing, where did I put that? If you are doing English paper piecing, or applique patterns, any kind of patterns that you're doing on, you can cut your pieces out on top of your light board because you can see when you pull that fabric out, you can see where that pattern is going to land on your paper piecing piece. You see that? You see how you can see through there? So if you want your flowers centered, you can see if it's centered or not. If you want them off to the side, you can see if they're off to the side or not. You can make sure that that is lined up exactly where you want it to be before you either needle turn or fussy cut that out. Then you can use your ruler and you can cut your pieces out with your rotary cutter right on top of here because it's centered how you want it to be. So sometimes if you're doing stripes or if you're doing different things like that, when you're using this English paper piecing, you want your stripes to go a certain way and you want them to match up a certain way. You can see exactly where those line up on those pieces when you're doing it this way, which is super, super great. And like I said, you can do it if you're doing applique patterns as well, because you can see where that is going to land. I'm going to make that brighter. You can see where that's going to land. Now, you're not going to see through every single bit of fabric. I'm not going to promise that you can. I'm not going to guarantee that you can because you will not be able to. But I will tell you that I love to square my pieces up on top of my light because you can see all around. So even if it's super thick, even if you're cutting multiple layers or you're cutting felt or you're cutting flannel or you're cutting denim and you're not going to see through, when you have your pieces lined up on here and your ruler on top of that, your light will shine through your ruler so you can see if you are on your lines or not. You can see if you are exactly where you want to be. And then you know if you're lined up on both sides, that is a straight cut. We've got a true measurement grid here, so you're able to cut those straight. When I was working on my Riley Blake sew-along kit, all of the little pieces cutting out on here was so super easy because I cut a strip and then you could line up your 1.5 inches, an 1.5 inches, an 1.5 inches, an 1.5 inches, an 1.5 inches, because that light shines through. So it's so, so great to do all those little pieces just like that.
Melody, is your light board at the brightest setting?
Yeah.
Can you turn it down? Because you can't see the grid at all on your camera.
Yeah, there we go. You see that?
There you go. Because you were like, oh, you can line it all up. I'm like, there's no lines.
Oh, yeah. You can line it all up because you can see. But no, you're right. There we go. Now you can see that.
We forget sometimes that on camera it gets washed out with how bright our light boards are. I mean, it's a compliment to our light boards, truly.
It is.
But
it is.
I want to make sure that they can see the lines and you weren't just pretending they were there and we were all like, oh, she's a little
I wasn't pretending. They are there. And now you can see that they're lined up because I don't know if you can tell, but when they're off just a tiny bit, you can actually see through there, which is so, so great. I used to cut so crooked because I was a lazy cutter. And I would just sort of line it up and go and cut, and it would always be off on this end of my ruler, not right close to me, but on the other end. But this way I can make sure that I'm square on both sides before I do my cutting, which is just phenomenal to do. So cutting your pieces on there is so great. Now, the other thing about the Glow Classic, which is similar to the Glow Premium that we talked about yesterday, it has magnetic plates built into it. So you can use our magnets to hold your items down while you're working on them. The magnets that we have on our website, they're additional product. If you're looking at our perfect pairings this week, that's an additional item, but it will hold down through the cutting mat as well. So you can work on your stuff. Look at that. It holds it right down. So you can either with the cutting mat or without, you can use the magnets because there are plates all along both edges and all the way down the middle. So there are tons of spaces for these magnets to fit or to stick. So you can kind of, if you try to put it where there isn't one, just kind of flick it. There it is. So you can find them really easily. So that is our Glow Classic. The size is 13 by 19. The cutting mat covers the entire board. Our Glow Basic, it only covered the lighted area. But for the Glow Classic, it covers the entirety of the board. We had a big request for that. So that's really nice. So you can overcut from your measuring grid on your mat, which is nice. So you can cut out to the full 19 inches or the 13 inches that the board is. So this is great. It's our new basic, if you want to call it that. But we call it the Classic because it's upgraded from our basic. It's so, so great. But we have paired this Glow Classic with our very, very best-selling item that we have, you guys. And we did it because when you're working on stuff, when you're cutting out fabric on your Glow Classic, what do you then do with it after you cut it out? Well, you sew it, right? So Bethany's going to show us.
That's what I do, at least. I don't know about you,
right? I mean, yes, you could use this for a lot of other things, of course. Yeah. But generally speaking, you're cutting your pieces out. You're squaring them on here.
Your material to be able to then put it back together in a new, fun way. And that usually involves a sewing machine or at some point in the process if you're using it for fabric. So
yes.
Yeah. So we thought we would say hello to my little friend, our Flex Light, which most of you, if you've been here for even just one live, you probably know about our Flex Lights. They are amazing. Melody and I have a lot of different reasons we love them outside of sewing. Did you take it to the Backstreet Boys concert?
I did take it to the Backstreet Boys concert.
Was everybody wondering what it was?
They were wondering what I was doing. They were like, what is that? Now, it's funny because like it didn't get very dark in there because it was at the Sphere in Vegas. And so the screen was super, super bright. So I only really used it once. But yeah, I did. I had it there. And it took some explaining going through security. It was in my bag and they're like, what is this? And I was like, oh, this is so I can video and light. And they were like, okay.
So I don't drain my battery on my phone.
Kill my phone battery.
All the videos.
So I can take all my photos and videos.
But I still want to like have my light to like, because there's parts of every concert where everybody turns their camera light, like this flash on their phone, but it drains your battery. And so I'm like, this is where that comes into play. And you could be the brightest light in the room and stand out and get
the and then then if you've ever been to a Backstreet Boys concert, they see you and they do this and they wave at you and it melts your heart. It's the best thing.
Anyways, we're not just like super fans or anything. Anyway,
not at all.
There's outside of concerts, there's so many amazing ways that you can use the Flex Light. So this is our Flex Light. I'm going to hold it up. It does have a little, I'm going to throw it, a little cradle here. It's got Velcro, soft side of Velcro, or what we call loop and hook and loop tape hook and loop tape. The other side is here on my machine. I'm going to switch cameras and show you exactly how I put it on my machine, but there's so many different ways that you can put the flex light on the machine. It is personal preference. But for me, my machine, I have it unplugged right now, has a decent light that gets this area and right where the needle plate is. What it doesn't get is this area. And a lot of times I don't have this on the machine. I have an extension table because I'm doing quilting. So that is even further out. And I want to light up this area and the area in front of me where I'm sewing. So I take my little cradle and I use the other side of the Velcro here. It's just an adhesive. You can take it off if you ever need to, but I leave it on. It blends right in. And then I put my cradle right there. And then I put my light in right here. Now from the side of the machine, I can get this to point straight over and turn that on. And this is the lowest setting. I can swing it around to the front if I need to. I can even really tilt it down if I need help seeing to thread my needle, for example, because sometimes my needle threader doesn't always want to work perfectly, or I'm using a specialty thread and I just need to do it manually. So I always say, like, put it wherever you can use it most. I've seen people put it, oh, I'm going to take this off. I've seen people put it on the front of the machine here, perfectly fine. I've seen people put it on the top up here. They'll put it like up here and then swing it down here. That's totally fine. You just want to be conscious of anything that has thread going through it, okay? You don't want to get in the way of your machines being able to operate. I've seen people put it over here. I've even seen people put it up underneath and tilt it down and have it going that way as well. You can put this just about anywhere you want, okay? And if you want, you can, you know, use some extra Velcro that you might have on hand. We all do, and stick it in a few different places. I've seen people put it on the back and have it swing around from the back. It is up to you. I personally love mine right here, but that's just me. And it gives so much light. And then I can choose how bright I want this to go. It's got 3 light settings. It gets very bright. So if I have my extension table out here, it just gives me more visibility out in this area, because once my machine is on, this area lights up pretty well. But not all machines are like that. I have an industrial machine and the light on that is pitiful. Okay. It's pitiful. So sometimes I'll even use 2 flex lights on that machine. I'll have one on the side as always, but sometimes I'll have another one that I'll put here, or if you have our accessory kit, sometimes I'll have one sitting right here just facing towards the machine. So it's totally up to you where you want to put it. Make it work for you. But because it is so bendy, has different light settings, and you can use it different places. And this thing on the highest light setting will last 4+ hours. On the lowest light setting, it'll last much longer. And they're rechargeable. Yeah. Oh, up to 10 hours on the lowest light setting. Thank you, Melody. But I, you know, a lot of times in my studio, I'll maybe use it on the lowest setting, especially here with all the cameras on. In my sewing room, I may use it on the low to medium setting, depending on the time of day. At sewing club on that weekend that I go to sewing club, the lighting in that room is the pits. I have that thing on full blast. And you know what's funny is, ever since I started bringing this to sewing club and having it attached to my machine, all my sewing club friends have them now, and they all have one attached to the machine because they see the difference it makes. The other thing is, and this isn't part of the bundle, but you can get extras of these cradles with the Velcro. So if you're like me and you have more than one machine, I have this one, I have another one, I have an industrial machine, I have a few machines. I put this Velcro on all of them, and then I can just take it from machine to machine. Yeah. There you go. Love the Flex Light. Melody, what's your favorite thing about the Flex Light?
Well, besides taking it to the Backstreet Boys, which was super fun, I use it all the time to help me thread my needle, because that's where I have the hardest time. Even if I have a new machine that I just got at a show at the end of
similar to this one.
It is similar to that one at the end of June, I think it was, whenever it was. Yeah, at the end of June. I brought it home in my suitcase from Virginia.
I've traveled with this one in my suitcase.
Awesome. And it
remember?
It got home like a champ. It was beautiful. And it's got great light. Like Bethany was saying on hers, like the light around the needle is really great, but I just need extra. I have corneal keratopathy. I have a hard time focusing correctly. And so the extra light helps so much.
For a reason. These aren't just for fun. Trust me.
And usually when I'm sewing, I sew with my glasses instead of my contacts, because I have to take them off to thread the needle. Or if I wear my contacts, I have to put my reading glasses on to thread the needle. But
Double up.
when I have the extra light, sometimes I don't need
Yeah.
to do that. And so
Yeah.
I that's what I use it the most for at home, is
Mhm.
to help me thread my needle. But then when my grandson's over for the weekend, which he does quite often because his mother works, and when she's
Mhm.
not, when she's at work and he's supposed to be home alone, my husband doesn't like that. So he comes and spends the weekends with us, which we love, but he'll steal it and he'll take it and he'll like light up whatever he's working on, because it's so bendy. I just stuck mine on the
Yeah.
machine back here, but because it's so bendy, and if you take that little cradle off and then that side of it is flat, you can
Mhm.
set it down on a table or something and it'll stay.
Yeah.
Right?
I've
You
used
can
it to do my nails. It's
to
been
do
a
your
spotlight
nails.
to do my nails. I've used it to help find things that have fallen in the crack between my seat and my console in my car. I
Yep.
drop things down there. I mean, usually it's French fries, but I drop things down in there all the time, and it helps me clean it out.
Yeah.
My fiance was doing something on his truck the other day under the hood, and he needed to see. Here we go.
Exactly. Yep.
I'm
I was
surprised
gonna say
he made it
that
back.
works. My husband and my father were doing the exact same thing. They're working on
Mhm.
like the hydraulic thing that opens the back of Theo's car.
Yeah.
We won't talk about how Theo dropped it on the top of my dad's head and had to
Oh,
take him to the
no.
emergency room for stitches.
He's okay though.
He is okay. No concussion, nothing like that. He's 89 years
Good.
old. Why he was out there using a metal drill on a car, I can't even tell you.
Because
But
in his mind, he is young and
he knows how
thriving
well.
and unstoppable. And
He
I
knows
love that for him.
he knows how to do it, and he knows my husband does not. And so that's why he does it.
Still helpful. It's
It's
fine.
and he needs things to do, so it's fine.
But
And
a boo-boo
I
is
blame
yeah.
the husband for letting go a little bit and it hitting him in the head. But they were using this out there the same as you were saying. They've stuck it on the power saw the same way we stick it on the sewing machine to help see what
Wood
they're doing,
shop.
measuring and all that stuff in the wood
Yeah.
shop. They've done all that stuff with it.
Brock and I have made, so Brock's home for college for the summer, and we didn't do any trips anywhere because he got his first job, and we were just like kind of just enjoying time at home together.
Yeah.
He's been gone and to college. And so we decided to we love doing puzzles, but we don't always prioritize doing them. So we got one and we knocked it out in a day. Then we got a couple more and we knocked those out. And I think we've done 5 or 6 puzzles this summer, and they're all like 1,000-piece puzzles. But a lot of times we're working on it at night while we're winding down, watching a show after dinner. And I'll grab, because I have like 4 of
You have 3 or 4 of those, yeah.
So
yeah.
as we all know, I'm horrible at plugging things in to charge. So I will have a couple, there's always one on the charger, and then the other 3 kind of float around between machines and stuff. But I grabbed a couple of them so that we could have them on the table.
Yeah.
To light it up, because we were doing like the hardest puzzle to finish it up. I posted it in my Instagram stories the other day, but like it was like all house plants. So it was all like shades of green with like different. It was the hardest puzzle we've done. We ended with that one. He goes back to school in like a week, he goes back to school. He's back to school now this week. He's already gone. So like, we had to wrap up with that one. And so we use these to be able to help see, and then to like shuffle through all the thousands of pieces.
Well, and then you can be working on it and watching a movie at the same time, because you can have the light for that localized, and the TV can be on, the lights can be low.
Over here hanging out in his recliner. We're watching, we've got TV on in the background, and we don't have like overhead lights in our living room. It's just lamps in the corners. So it's like the worst lighting. It's dark outside. So we're like, okay, well, we'll just use our flex lights to see our puzzle. So, I mean, like, it comes in handy so many times. I used this on a plane to read a book, because I did like that 16-hour flight from LA to Sydney earlier this year, Australia. And I used it to read a book. I also used it to do some like crocheting. I actually put it in the little pouch in front of me on the seat back and had it like that, because that was before we came out with the accessory kit. So I didn't have that.
You didn't have the clip yet. Yeah.
So like, I mean, I've taken it so many places. If you're sitting at a kid's sporting event and you want to read a book or do something, if you're sitting, in the carpool line or whatever, it's late night soccer practice and you're sitting in your car like, I'm so ready to go home. It's been a long day, and you can still do stuff and be creative and work on things or enjoy a book. Yeah.
It is such a great little light. And we paired it with, for this week, for our perfect pairing week, for our National Couples Day week. We paired it with our Glow Classic because like generally speaking, what the original intent is, you can cut your fabric out on your Glow Classic and then you're going to sew it together. So you needed a little extra light on your sewing machine.
If this was your first time getting exposed to CutterPillar products, these would be two that I would say start with.
Yes.
You need a light board, and an introduction to our light boards is the classic. And then you need this flex light. These two things right here will change your sewing, quilting, crafting experience so many ways. And then if that's your first exposure to us and our products, that's the best place to start. And then you can grow from there.
Yeah.
But if I had to say, like, start with anything, it would be this perfect pairing. And I think that's why we decided to put these two together. So I'm going to put it up on the site again. It is discounted already, but if you add the code couple goals, you'll get an extra 20% off. If you already have the light board and you just want an extra, like, get it and gift the light board. Or you already have the flex light. Let me tell you, you can't have enough.
You can't have too many flex lights.
So trust me on this. Trust me. I literally have 4 of them. And for some reason, there's only one within my view because they are on other machines or in my other sewing room, or probably someone's taken one in my household and set it somewhere and I'll find it eventually. So we have plenty. They do charge. I don't know if I showed that.
Oh yeah, they're rechargeable.
They are rechargeable.
They are rechargeable. There's a little port on the top. Yeah, and it comes with a little cord. It's a USB-C, a universal USB-C port. So any USB-C cord is fine. And yeah, they charge up and they last about 3 to 4 hours on high, up to 10 hours on low. They're really great. And I think that the reason that we tease Bethany so much about her not being able to have them recharged is because they last so long. It's not like it's your cell phone that you have to charge every night.
Or
it's not like that. It lasts so long that you don't think, oh, I have to plug it in before I go to bed. You just don't need to.
It also tells you, like,
there's an indicator.
How much juice is left in the battery, right? Like when you turn it tells you. So as I use it, I can go, oh, this doesn't seem like it's getting as bright because there's only one little green dot left. I need to charge this one. So I grab the next one, right? So
it's just, then you swap them out.
And then this one gets on the charger. Then I grab another one, and then they just make a rotation. Like, I'm not joking. I have at least 3, maybe 4.
I know I've sent you at least 3. You probably have another one too. But guys, it's so great. Thank you for joining us for our Perfect Pairings week. Remember to use that coupon code Couple Goals on any of our perfectly paired products that we've got going on. We have one more day that we will be back tomorrow at the same time to do our last perfectly pairing. But please do join. Bethany just put it up on the screen. Please go to
Here's Facebook. What I want to know. I would love for you to join our CutterPillar Creations Hub if you haven't. It's a private Facebook group, a fun community of creatives over there. But if you have a flex light, I would love for you to share in that group a fun, creative way that you use the flex light that I may not have thought of, that Melody may not have thought of. We've shared quite a few things here. There's so many cool ways you can use these. If you've used it in a very fun, unique way, please share, inspire us all. I'd love to know.
Yeah, for sure. We would love to know. And listen, if you guys decide that this is a great starter bundle for you as well, go take a look at our Flex accessory kits. They're not included in the Perfect Pairings week.
No, but they're so good.
But get it in your brain because those things are so great. It takes that Flex light and blows it out that you can use so many other ways. But this week we're focusing on our Perfect Pairings. This week we're talking about couple goals. Whether you're a couple of friends, a couple of coworkers, a couple of sewing buddies, a couple, a husband, a fiance, a wife, or whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, we are sharing love because we don't like doing that only in Valentine's month. We are sharing the love
all year round and throughout the entire week. And Melody, love you. Other way. Yay.
It's always backwards for me. I'm still getting used to that. But do come back again tomorrow for our last day of our Perfect Pairings couple week. We have one more to show you, but you can find all of them on the website under the Perfect Pairings collection. But yeah, this has been so fun this week. Every day we'll be back again tomorrow, and we'll have one more for you tomorrow, guys. Make sure you come back again on Friday.